According to the Provincial and Local Level Government's report tabled in Parliament on the 27th of May 2025, provincial and local level governments have performed poorly over the years. Oro Governor Honorable Gary Zufa shares his thoughts on the reports and revealed that the 1995 reforms on the provincial and local level government systems has failed and did not achieve the desired outcomes and questions the Parliament. He said many public servants in the provinces are now in waigani chasing their funds and are not in province. And the districts have been neglected and many have law and order issues.
Together.
Take a listen.
I feel that first and foremost, a review of the 95 reforms is well overdue. I've said this a number of times. Those reforms were expected to do great things, improve things, but they haven't. And in many instances, they've created more problems. Whilst they've brought some benefits, and perhaps we should look at retaining these benefits, we should look at the destruction that they've conducted or committed and how we can repair these destructive reforms that were introduced in 1995. I remember before 95, the districts and stations in all our provinces were functioning. They had power, electricity, public servants were in these districts and stations. There was law and order. Districts and stations were functioning with funding coming directly from waigani. There were extension programs, health, agricultural extension programs. There were many thriving economies, and the people lived and thrived in these districts and stations. Many of them did not actually go to their town centers, their capitals, because they didn't feel like they needed to. Everything they needed, they found them in their districts and stations. But after the reforms, you fast forward to today, and you don't have to go far. You can just drive to, say, any district or station in Central Province, and so it's a Central Province, the whole country. But I'm using this as an example for the purposes of demonstrating what I'm about to say. And you'll find that these districts and stations are no longer functioning. They have public servants there, but they're only receiving the salary and wages. They're not able to do anything with that. They're not receiving their functional grants. They're not receiving their station grants, their district grants that are for them to maintain these districts and stations. There's no law and order. Elephant grass is growing there. And people, those mini economies have dried up, leading to massive urban drift and explosion. People are now drifting away from the districts and stations and flocking into the town centers to look for better services, better lives. And we can't blame them. This was brought about by the 95 reforms. A system that wasn't broken, but we fixed it. We fixed something that wasn't broken. Why? What brought these reforms about? And at that time, the premiers were in their provinces, and they were convinced. They were convinced by the lure of coming to waigani, the possibility of an additional wage or salary for being a governor in the parliament. And they all agreed to this. They didn't read the fine print. The fine print basically said that with the pretext of decentralization, there would be actually greater centralization. And provinces which were moving towards greater autonomy became ever more dependent than then. And they are ever more dependent now. All of us are lining up at waigani chasing our funds all the time. And these districts and stations have become deteriorated, dilapidated shadows of what they used to be. So therefore, I feel that we have to go back to those 95 reforms and find out where we went wrong. What good came out of those reforms and what good didn't come out of those reforms and what destruction was committed. How do we fix this? So I would say, Minister, that these reforms are well overdue.